Let's get this thing not crooked. There we go. And let's pull up TikTok. All right. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. All right, that should be good. That should be good. Crap. All right, let's let some people get in here. Make sure I'm live up everywhere. All right. This HRRR is looking kind of crazy. Let's pull out this chat. No sound detect. No sounds detected. All right, we're good. We need to look at some params. Let's go into our SIG tour. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Oh, heavy snow on the backside there. Hey. Top chat, live chat. There we go. Wow. They pushed that moderate up so far to the north. That is very far north. This originally was down here. What's going on, guys? What's going on, Santi? I still think, well, we'll see. I still think this should be back. This did, finally, they did bring this back down into Baton Rouge. Close to Baton Rouge. I still think it should be a little bit farther back. But, I guess we'll take it. Yeah, I guess we'll take it for now. I'm going to let some people get in here, and then we're going to start off. Big enhanced area. Let's take a look at our day 4 now. Makes sense. Do we have anything day 5? Do we have anything farther out yet? Because I think we're going to get a day, or is it day 7 or day 8? I think we're going to get. Yeah, first one right here. This is a moderate, enhanced moderate. This is a level 4 out of 5 risk. This is very dangerous. This is a categorical risk, meaning it's for all you take into account all your severe weather. What's going on, Teeny? What's going on, Bren? Hey, Blake. Easy enhanced for Chicago based off the new HRRR00Z. Let's take a look. I mean, I could get on board with that. Probably the new HRRR is doing some crazy things. Here's our SIG tour parameters. And it gets pretty close. It gets pretty close to wanting to put some SIG tour up into. You don't need SIG tour up into Chicago though. You just need. Let's take a look at a couple different things. Let's take a look at what our dew points are doing now. Dew points getting up into around 52. Not insane, but pretty decent up there in Chicago. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at some other factors. Let's look at our surface cape. You guys got some pretty good cape out ahead of this thing. 1,200 joules per kilogram. Let me go to this. Let's take a look at a sounding. Nothing impressive there. Let's take a look a little out ahead of this. Yeah, guys, I'm going to go over everything. Let me just take a look at Chicago real quick. I don't know. I mean, I could see Chicago going enhanced. I think it might stay slight. You don't have an insane amount of instability up there. Dew points are staying quite low. I think it could go enhanced, but I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it slight. I think they're right. I think what I'm looking at here that's concerning is this line of storms right in there. So, once you get up into this kind of... This is just too congested. If I were to take a sounding like right down here, it'd probably be wild compared to Chicago. Yeah, there you go. Most unstable cape over 1,200 joules per kilogram. You've got a significant torque param at about 1 with your inhibition at about 2.2. So it's really central Illinois is where things start to really amplify up, and then down here, which is kind of how they have it laid out. But we'll see. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. They might end up putting Chicago in an enhanced. You've got enough for like an EF0, EF1 tornado in and around Chicago. I don't know if you have enough for a significant tornado, But sometimes they'll expand this right at the last second out of an abundance of caution, because sometimes you get tornadoes outside these zones that they're not expecting. You get some weird shear and a little extra lift points you where they're not expecting. Sassy, True Blue, what's going on? Moderate shift east possible? Possibly. You can see why they're doing this. Let's take a look at our helicity. So here's our rotation down at the surface. So here's it sparking up right here. This is getting into Friday afternoon and evening. And then watch this. Okay, so we see it sparking up over, we see the most SRH through this region again. Let's compare this to surface-based cape. There's our cape, same area where you see that helicity, which is our rotation at the surface. Some good lift through here, some good cape. But then that starts to die out, you'll see, as this moves east. Although we could get this is really decent cape up through portions of western Ohio, southern Indiana, and western Kentucky. What are our dew points looking like there? Pretty good at the same time. Look at that. 60s. 60 dew points, good cape. Good helicity. This is so yeah, this is in a let me go to day 3. So they have this in a slight, and I don't know. I think overnight this area really concerns me. Western Kentucky, southern Indiana, southwestern Ohio. It's weird because they want to move it like after. I don't know. There should be an enhanced or moderate. I think there should be an enhanced that covers this area. Whether it be like this, I think that's how the enhanced should be. You're right. Like if I was drawing this based on what I'm seeing, I would probably draw the enhanced out. If I'm being honest, I'd have an enhanced that looked like that. I would, and the slight would probably come out a little bit too. So, but it's, I don't know. Let's take I'm gonna get the chat. I'll start answering once I am. Abby, what's going on? I'm gonna look at one more thing and I'll get the chat. Just let's look at our sig torque params here. This means the ability to get an EF2 plus. We've got sig torque params through this region if we just want to cheat and look at this. 4.0 and above. So if you're in any of this right here, this is taking into account everything I'm talking about. Shear, cape, and your buoyancy. Or sorry, your helicity, your rotation. So I don't really know. You know, they're keeping this. This is definitely the main watch right here. But there's something else going on out here that's a little concerning. So, but this right here, guys, this right here going into Saturday morning, this is the this is going to be the most. This is going to be the most dangerous. This not going to be. This is the most dangerous outlook we have of 2025 so far. I'm extremely concerned from southeastern Mississippi all the way up through or southeastern Louisiana up through Mississippi into western and northwestern Alabama into southern Tennessee here. This is going to be our we could get, I don't know if we will. We probably won't, but we could see a high risk, I think, pushed into this region right here. I think we could get a high risk and we could see some of this expanded, but we'll see. This to me is the most dangerous thing that this area is the most dangerous area that we've seen since 2025 started for severe weather. So, EF3, EF4 definitely possible. I don't want to say EF5. I'm not going to put that out there in the universe, but hopefully not. Hopefully things go wrong with this sector right here I'm concerned with on Saturday morning. Let's quickly, just so you guys understand the timing of that. We're talking about, here it comes. Starting to crank up through this region. Oof. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Starting to crank up through this region. I would say Friday late 11 p.m. midnight, and then really starting to see a lot more as we push into kind of 8, 9, 10 a.m. This is a dangerous look right here. Really, really crazy look right here. This is this specific sounding I pulled up, guys. This is what a dangerous tornado hodograph looks like. Cyclical. I don't know if some of you can read this, some of you can't, but supercell composite over 15, SIGTOR over 3.6. Going to block Thor for spamming app, and then you've got a. I mean, this is everything you need. This is just tons of cape, tons of shear. This is a sounding that you worry about a major tornado touching down, EF3, EF4 plus tornado touching down. So this sounding right now where I just clicked, if you want to know where I clicked, I mean, this is central eastern Mississippi. This is I think this is near Jackson, Mississippi. Right near Jackson, Mississippi. So let me get to chat. This is pivotal weather that I'm using right here. This is pivotal weather. I haven't been feeling great, so if people are rude, I'm just blocking accounts if people are rude. It's been a rough week for me, so I want to be on here, but don't mess with the sick person. Yali, what's going on? Julie, what's going on? J Meme. I appreciate you guys. Hope everyone's having a good night. This is going to be a crazy event. This is going to affect a lot of people. This is expected, especially Saturday, is expected to be our most severe weather outbreak of the year. I don't see much of a chance of there being a bust down here. There's going to be significant tornadoes down here. There's just too much fuel. There's too much fuel down here on Saturday. Friday is a little up in the air. I think Friday could be bad, but hopefully not. Kyle, what's going on? See, the earlier GFS has a big storm going up the coast 20th to 24th time frame. Yeah, we can take a look at that in a little bit, Kyle. Birmingham, Alabama. You can see these storms starting to really kick up in Alabama, really 1 a.m. on Saturday, and then a second round pushing in. Second round pushing in at around 12 in the afternoon, and it's not going to be out of your hair until pretty late in the evening, because you've got the tail end of this low pressure to the north whipping around, and then after that moves off to the northeast, another surface low spawns. So here's your first, see that tail whipping around? Okay, and then that's moving up, but then boom, here comes another push, another surface low, and trough ejection happening right behind this one that just happened. So it's a double whammy for people in here. You're getting 2 shots of severe weather 6 hours apart. So it's, yeah. Usually you just get 1 shot that moves through. This is 1, and then immediately there's more storms firing up behind it. Some areas will get a lot of rain from the first round, and that's what you're going to want, because you're going to want rain-cooled air to lower your chances of getting a significant tornado. So remember, though, I don't want to scare anyone. Most people, even if you're in a state where a severe tornado outbreak is happening, you still have a very low chance of ever being hit by a tornado. There's so much land, but you just have a way to get away. If you're anywhere down, especially central plains here, deep south, have a way to get weather alerts, especially tomorrow night going into Saturday. You need to be able to have a tornado warning that can wake you up, but just because there is the serious threat of a tornado outbreak, I would say through eastern, southern Louisiana, Mississippi, potentially Alabama, like a tornado outbreak. Reed Timmer is obviously an amazing meteorologist, considered one of the best, if not the best, tornado chaser, and he's projecting possibly 50 to 100 tornadoes, 50 to 100 down there. So some of which could be very serious. I'm sorry, but I'm saying EF5 for Saturday. That's exactly the 2011 setup. Yeah, people don't realize how rare EF5s are, though. You can have a perfect setup, which, if I'm being honest, we almost have a perfect setup. You can have a perfect setup, and EF5s are still really rare. Like, probably 1 out of every 20 perfect setups you get an EF5. So it's like EF5s are 100% possible with this. They're going to be rare, but with this type of setup, you should prepare for that being a possibility. It's true. Julie, I appreciate you. NTX, what's going on? J Payne, I appreciate you guys. I'm in Northeast Alabama. The weather, man, down here is making Saturday out to be pretty bad. Yeah, you don't want to scare people, but with this type of event, especially, like, I'm nervous about this up here, right? I think we could get some strong tornadoes up here. We're more worried about a wind event, almost like a derecho squall line hail, gorilla hail event up here. There could be some strong tornadoes up there, though. There could be. So this event could end up being just as significant as this second one. But the second one is just, this is the type of event where you literally, I'm going to be trying to live stream part of this, and I would not be surprised if while I'm on live stream, we have like 10 to 15 active tornado warnings at once, where like you have like 10 tornadoes on the ground, 15 tornadoes on the ground at once. It happens with this type of setup where they're just spawning everywhere. Again, there's a lot of square footage here. So there could be 20 tornadoes tearing through your state, and the odds you see one of them are extremely low. So don't get scared. People forget how massive planet Earth is, and most of these tornadoes are not very wide. They're very skinny. With the exception, every now and then with a strong tornado, you can get a mile wide, half mile wide tornado, 2 mile wide sometimes, but that's very rare, like the Joplin one. But most people are going to be fine. You just want to have a way to get your weather alerts and warnings, because it's better just to be safe than sorry. Understand what's going on around you. I'm glad it's happening on a Saturday, so people can so kids aren't in school. That's always good. This thing firing up Saturday morning is a little concerning. I hope it. I don't know. The timing. We never want tornado outbreaks or severe weather outbreaks in the middle of the night. The 060 and 12Z had something. Let me see here. NTX, I appreciate that. Yali, Roger. Should I be concerned Nashville on Saturday? Yeah, I mean, you're in an area that you need to watch. We could pull up let's pull up a sounding from Nashville. If my computer wants to. Meme, I appreciate it. Shout out to Meme for the sub. Thank you. So let's pull up a sounding near Nashville. Whoa. Yali with the Galaxy. Yali, you did not have to do that. I appreciate you, Yali. Ames, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Green, what's going on? All right, this isn't pulling up the sounding, so I'm going to go into Weatherbell and pull it up myself. I don't know what's going on there. Let's go into Weatherbell and let's take a look at this. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to anyone who's followed or sub to. Thank you, guys. Already 31 followers this stream. This stream is actually popping off. Makes me feel good because I've been feeling like crap lately, so thanks, guys. Yeah. I appreciate that. All right, let's go to Nashville. Here we are. So for anyone who doesn't know what we're looking at right here, this is almost like a cheat code. You can look at a future radar all you want. The radar is never going to be perfectly correct when you're taking a look at precipitation moisture. What this tells us is based on weather balloon data, satellite data. This is a forecast of what they expect the atmosphere to look like. And what's really important about this is what we're looking at here is going to tell us a lot of things. It's going to tell us how much rotation is at the surface, how much shear is at the surface, what's the temperature of the air around us compared to the parcel of air that wants to rise and create these strong thunderstorms, what's our dew points. It's going to tell us a lot of things, and then it's going to summarize all of those, if you want to know what your chances of having a tornado are, into a few different things. SIG-TOR parameter, the higher this goes, the higher chance you are of having tornadoes, and the higher chance you are of having strong tornadoes. Supercell composite, and this is going to tell you, are we going to see strong winds, hail? So you can kind of look at that as a cheat code, but you also want to look at some other things. So it's really important. I mean, the surface 0 to 1 kilometer here is really important because this is where everything begins to fire up. And then, so down here you have your cape. This is what gives this is what gives us buoyancy and allows our moisture and heat to rise and fuel storms. So the higher this surface cape number goes, the stronger storms you get. So let's just move this forward and look at Nashville. And so this is on our Euro though. So our Euro is going to underdo this, but we'll take a look at one of so this is a timing here that's a little concerning. We almost got a 1.0 in our SIG-TOR param, which means we could have it potentially EF2 plus tornado. It's going to be tough though. SRH surface storm relative helicity. This is representing how much rotation's on the surface. All you really need is like over 150 here to have good enough rotation for a tornado, and we're almost at 300. So check. All you really need here is about 20 to 25 knots of wind shear down at the surface. You have almost 40. So check. That's going to give you a chance. The only thing that's looking not so great, well, it's looking good because we don't want tornadoes. But if you're not so great for this tornado wanting to form, is our cape. Our cape's a little low. You typically want around 1,000 joules per kilogram. This is 643 joules per kilogram. It's just the unit we use to measure how much cape there is, convective available potential energy. That's at around 643. A lot of times these models underdo the cape, especially the Euro. A lot of times they underdo it, so I always add about 500. So we could be at about 1,100 joules per kilogram, which is enough. And also, as the day moves on, so what we're looking at right here, guys, is 3 a.m. on Saturday. As the day moves on and the air heats, our parcel heats, the buoyancy increases. So if this timing is a little bit off and we're a little bit farther into the day, this cape could suddenly be about, 1,500, 2,000 joules per kilogram. So the heat changes this. And as we're pushing into March, and we know as the sun comes up, there's going to be more heat. So we'll have to see on the timing of this, but this could rise and suddenly push up your SIG-TOR parameter. So right now, yes, Nashville's definitely an area Saturday morning that you want to be able to have, there's a possibility of strong tornadoes. So, and if not strong supercells, hail producing strong winds. So, it's not the worst. This isn't the most dangerous sounding I've ever seen, but it's a sounding that says you could have tornadoes in the area that day. So something to pay attention to. You want to get weather alerts there around Nashville. If you guys want to see some really concerning type soundings here, I'm going to get back to answering your questions. But I wonder if Baton Rouge is still showing this, what it was showing before. I think they've come down a little bit. 2.8. Let's look at Jackson, Mississippi real quick. Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi is getting up there. Jackson, Mississippi, crazy shear at the surface, crazy rotation, and then you have 2,200 joules per kilogram and above. So Jackson, Mississippi, Saturday morning at around 2 to 4 or 5 a.m. is a very, very concerning look for strong tornadoes, long track tornadoes. All right, what's going on? St. Louis. St. Louis is another area I'm concerned about. Let me see if this will pull this up. I actually was talking, if you guys know Mesomat, I was talking to him earlier, and I specifically brought up St. Louis as a concern that I have because look at this. Let's see if this will pull up. Something's going on. I might need to refresh this. Give me a second, guys. St. Louis. Look at this. Lee, I appreciate that. Thank you, Lee. Look at this. Let's get into here somewhere. See if we can get a good sounding on the HRRR. Over a 2.0 SIG Tor Param in St. Louis with over 1,000 surface cape. EF2 plus tornadoes are possible in and around the St. Louis area. There's a good chance you won't see one, but you have to understand when the ingredients are in the air for one, because you want to just be aware. It's important not to be scared, but to understand that there's a chance, just so people are aware. You know, there's always a better chance that there's not one. Even with these parameters, you're still at like a 10 to 15% chance, right? So it's still pretty low. But when they happen, they're dangerous, and that's why we have to talk about them. Strong SIG Tor params for St. Louis. Very, very strong. Yeah, don't be scared. Be prepared. Exactly. At the end of the day, most tornado outbreaks, there's almost no loss of life or very little. But we want none, you know? So the more people get prepared, the less issues we have. Houston right now looks fine. Yeah, wow. Wait. Where did I just click? This was St. Louis. St. Louis. Holy crap. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at right now. Holy crap. 4.5 SIG Tor Param. 14.3 Supercell Composite. Oh my gosh. 3.6 fixed. Oh my gosh. So this is St. Louis at around, that's a very significant looking tornado parameter right there. This is St. Louis at around, so this is right before it kind of moves in, which is why our surface cape is, which is why our cape is so high. Cape is literally highest right ahead of the squall line, because that's where you have all that lift, all those strong updrafts. So this would be at around 7 p.m. on Friday, right before the squall line begins to move into St. Louis. So if you're in St. Louis, you know, as you get into the evening time, you just want to just keep a watch on tornado watch. There will be tornado. There'll probably be, I'm guessing, the National Weather Service or Storm Prediction, or sorry, the SPC will put out, I think it's actually the weather. Technically, the SPC tells the weather service to do it, but this weather service will put out tornado watches all over this area. You'll be in a tornado watch like all through the afternoon and then into Saturday morning out up here around St. Louis. But I'd expect some tornadoes up and around here. Hopefully weak ones. Hopefully ones that aren't near any, you know, that are out in the cornfields. But yeah, Friday evening going into Saturday morning, this is a significant sounding for strong tornadoes. Let me go back up here real quick. Appreciate the shares, guys. Appreciate the follows and the subs. Thank you, guys. Which option is safer? Option 1, first floor of an apartment with no interior room but no trees, or a house with a basement but it's on a cliff and surrounded by trees. The basement's always the best option. Wind doesn't even typically move right across the surface. It typically moves just over the surface. So I would still say the basement on a cliff. Unless this was like a mudslide, unless this was like a flash flood type thing, then you probably wouldn't want to be there. Yeah, I think Chicago does have a chance for some tornadoes. Right now it looks like Chicago, if it were to see a tornado in and around the area, would be the kind of EF0, EF1. These can still take down trees and, you know, do some damage to roofs. You could see something stronger than that, so it's better to be prepared. But right now, it's looking more like you're probably going to see some strong winds from the squall line and some thunderstorms with potential of a weak tornado. Hopefully we stay like that. But just to your south, there's some really strong tornado parameters. So if we see any shift north with these cells, with these discrete cells, you know, that could shift it up into Chicago. So it's best to pay attention. Lee, I appreciate the sub. Thank you, Lee. Activated a subwave. I appreciate you, Lee. Long Island. Well, what risk do we have up there on our? I think, are you guys part of that slight? You guys might end up being pushed into the slight. Honestly, based on the latest looks I've had, there's some SIG Tor params up here that day. We'll see. You'll probably get a marginal, yeah, at least. Probably. Atlanta. Yeah, we can go over that 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. One second. What's going on, DD? Sky Yuma? Yeah, this is my wife's. My wife went to Minnesota. Go Gophers. Did she give me this hat or did I buy it for myself? I can't remember. I love the Gophers. She's converted me. Atlanta, let's look at this. We start seeing some discrete cells moving through here. Let me actually take a sounding out of here while we're in town. Nothing too bad there. Saturday at around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And then here's our second round of storms firing up. That could be a little bit more dangerous. Let's take another sounding here. Here's our second set here that we need to watch out for. And this is going to be around Saturday evening. Late afternoon, maybe 4 or 5. We'll have to see. East Tennessee. Yeah, we can take a look at that. East Tennessee doesn't look too bad right now. Let's take a look at this first. This second event is going to be this second event is going to be the bigger concern for East Tennessee. Oh, not too bad. There's some supercell composites on Saturday morning around 7 a.m. And then this wave of storms comes through. Your second surface low. Nothing too bad. Nothing too bad right now. What does our let's see, SBC outlook categorical. You guys aren't in enhanced. Slight to enhanced. So I mean, the farther south you are with this thing, the more concerned I'd be. So the enhanced is pretty far out, but for me, taking a look at this thing, I'm more concerned with like down here. So the closer you are to that Mississippi and then northwestern border of Georgia, so like the closer you are to this border here in Tennessee, the more concerned I am because some of these, you start to see some of these torprams fizzle out as you get up to the north. So, you know, what's the city name? Knoxville, I think right now looks like it's not in too bad of a situation. Strong tornadoes are possible. Chattanooga, though, I'm a little bit more concerned with that region. Connor's Tornado Tundra, Connor's Temperature Corner, Connor's Weather Dungeon. What's going on, dude? Hello from Minnesota. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a snow aspect with this too, guys. There is a snow aspect with this. So let's pull this in. Ugh. I got to, 1 second, guys. Can I do a little stretch? Can I do a little stretch real quick? Should we pull Mezzo Matt in here? Oh, I think he's looking at the moon. There's a snow aspect to this. Let's pull Mezzo Matt in. If you guys don't know who that is, I'm part of his team. He's really good at this type of stuff. He knows the severe weather. He'll be live streaming all these events. He's probably outside looking at the moon. Is the lunar eclipse happening soon? I think it is. Let's see. So here's our snow aspect, guys. Yeah, Pensacola, Florida. You are gonna. I'll take a sounding there soon. You do have to watch out, Pensacola, Florida. So we'll get into that. Blizzard-like conditions. So this is our latest. This is our latest Euro. Pretty strong potential. I mean, you're gonna have blizzard-like conditions into eastern South Dakota, eastern North Dakota, and then especially moving into central and northern Minnesota. Twin Cities, you'll probably be spared. You're gonna have some thunderstorms. So Pensacola. Let's take a look at Pensacola real quick. Pensacola, Florida. Let's take a look at it. Pensacola, Florida. What? There it is. Pensacola Regional Airport. That'll have to do. So, Let's take a look at this. This is going to underdo it, but why do you guys have... What's going on down there right now? Why do you guys have parameters right now? Okay, interesting. Anyways, let's take a look at this. Ooh. Right there. Strong surface. Storm relative felicity, strong surface shear, and good most unstable cape at around 1,000 joules per kilogram. So this is an interesting look here. So this would be at around... God, my math has been hurting my brain lately. This would be around 3 p.m. This would be around 3 p.m. on Saturday, 3 to 4 p.m., give or take a few hours. And you do have almost a 1.0 sig torque param, meaning EF2 plus tornadoes are possible in the Pensacola area. So, yes. And not just for a little bit. You also have these same type of params in the morning hours as well. I mean, this lasts for a pretty long time. So beginning probably around 12, lasting till about 5 p.m. on Saturday, you've got some interesting looks there. Alex, I appreciate that. Thank you, Alex. Alex with the Galaxy. I appreciate you, Alex. Long Island could see an isolated tornado gaming. Yeah, it could. It's gonna have the potential there. How is South Carolina looking this weekend? You could get some QLCS tornadoes. QLCS, quasi-linear convective systems. They're tornadoes that are attached to a strong squall line. Typically weaker. Typically they're not your more damaging ones, but they can do some damage. So something to be aware of. How accurate is a possible hazard on the black screen? You know what? Honestly, I don't look at it much. That's not one of the parameters I look at much. So I wouldn't be able to tell you how accurate it's been for me. Do I have... Oh, wait, Mesomat's calling here. Mesomat.
Sorry, I missed your call. I about lost my cat outside.
Oh, my God. All right, I've got the... we've got chat up. Hey, stream's doing good tonight. People are concerned. That's good people are listening. All right, what's your thoughts? Guys, I already told them I spoke to you. We've seen an uptick. St. Louis looks like it could have a little bit of a surprise there. Yeah, I don't know why the enhanced... I don't know why the enhanced isn't pushed out a little bit farther east through central Kentucky, because you're seeing these sig torque params stretch out all the way to southwestern Ohio. Yeah. You're seeing dew points super high through that region, a ton of cape through that region. There's shear, there's all this availability, and they just have that area in a slight, and I'm like, what?
They might modify it overnight too. We'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be based off of weather balloons and satellite imagery tomorrow when we actually get raw data in.
Yeah.
I will say though, on Saturday's event, the OOZ kind of put that morning convection blob over Alabama, which I disagree with. I think that's an outlier run potentially. So once again, day 2 high probably not going to happen with that being there because we're going to go off of that.
On the her. Let me see what you're talking about. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. So let's see. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
That'd be a good thing, but those storms are still going to be coming severe regardless at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning if that blob does blow up.
Yeah, so you're seeing this big, just kind of messy blob of moisture, and then that's going to suffocate tornado chances. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
We'll see what they get the 060 doing this 12Z in the morning. Dude, I think it's anomalous.
And I mean, what is causing that? Just an oversaturation of the air? It's like...
And it might be the error with the her, because the NAM 3K that just came in with it doesn't show it either. None of the other model runs show it.
Oh, let me see the NAM. Yeah, it could be an error. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The NAM does not show that at all.
Yeah.
The NAM would be a more dangerous situation.
Yeah, I agree. So if the blob shows up again in future runs, that would be a great thing. I'm cool with that.
I just clicked on a random part of the NAM, and it's like, yeah, 4.0 sig torque param with crazy hodograph and right on the border of Alabama and Mississippi.
Yeah, everybody needs to be prepared regardless of what risks zone they're in, though. It's at this point, it's. I don't think we're getting out of this one.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about how this Saturday could end up being one of those kind of historic days. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
It has the potential, but hopefully not. Alrighty, we just had to bring you in here for a second. All right, I'm gonna head out. Peace.
Sounds good, bud.
So he was outside, but he wasn't looking at the lunar eclipse. He was chasing his cat. I was partially right. So what he's talking about is, you see how the NAM has these discrete cells popping up here on Saturday. This is the most dangerous look that we have. This right here could be our major tornado outbreak. There's no big blob of moisture out ahead of it. If there's a big blob of moisture out ahead of it, you're gonna have rain cooled air, and that's going to reduce your instability. So here's all these discrete cells, very dangerous looking stuff happening down here. Very dangerous looking stuff. You get your lower, you get your L, you get a surface low, secondary surface low to form. But here on the HRRR, you've got a big blob of moisture out ahead of it. This would be great for people who don't want to see tornadoes. This is going to cool your air out ahead of a lot of these tornadoes. It's not going to help people in Mississippi. Southeastern Louisiana, I don't think there's any way getting out of. You're going to get some tornadoes down here. Hopefully not a lot. Hopefully they're not too strong. But you're going to see tornadoes down there in Mississippi and Louisiana. If this blob blows up here, it could really spare a lot of instability in Alabama and up through Tennessee and Kentucky and Georgia. So what he's saying is this could just be an error on the radar, but we'll know tomorrow. I think we will know tomorrow. Because did our 18Z show this on the HRRR? A little bit. Not as significant. So yeah, and I don't know what would be causing that, oversaturation of the air, but Alex with the Galaxy. Alex, I appreciate you. Again, I appreciate you, man. Let's see. Austin, Noonan, Georgia. Where is that? Northwestern Georgia? Noonan, Georgia. Never heard of it. What's it near? Let's see if I can find it. I wonder if it's even in here. Oh, I found it in here. Let's see what your parameters are looking like. Nothing too significant. I'm guessing you're not up in northwestern Georgia. Nothing too crazy. You're going to have the possibility for EF0, EF1s, strong thunderstorms. Nothing jumping off the map with this sounding for that area right now, so that's good. Look at that, guys. That's the thing in fast motion. That's what the weather's doing. Pumping. Should people... do you think Eastern Kentucky is under potential tornado threat? If we see that big blob of moisture pop up, Linda, like the HRRR thinks, no. And let's hope if that doesn't pop up, you do have the potential for some strong tornadoes in Eastern Kentucky. So let's hope that air gets oversaturated out ahead of it and you get some rain-cooled air, because then you'll be fine. But stay up to date. I would say stay up to date. Right now, you're looking pretty safe. Should people in St. Louis be worried about tornado threats? I don't think anyone needs to worry, but everyone needs to be aware. Everyone needs to be prepared. St. Louis Friday night has very, very significant tornado parameters, so, meaning you're going to have ingredients for strong tornadoes Friday night into the very early hours of Saturday morning. But you can have these setups and these ingredients, and you could just, sometimes they just don't come together, which is best case scenario. But we know that the ingredients are going to be there, so it's best to stay updated and have a way to get your alerts in St. Louis Friday night into Saturday morning. God, I'm parched. Meg, I appreciate you. Kay, I appreciate you. Yeah, guys, if you're new in here, I haven't been streaming every night because I've been not feeling great and I had family in town, but I typically post every single day and I stream every single night. Just what's going on? What's the latest with weather, severe weather, snow, hurricanes, anything. We'll talk about it all. I typically focus on the lower 48, but every now and then we'll look around to different places of the world, see what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm on YouTube, Instagram as well, and I'm going to be starting a Discord here soon, so I can actually get in and talk to you guys talk with you guys on Discord. It'll be fun. Can we hold up? Let me go back up and read that. Can we get some hail in Michigan? Potentially. Let's look at our 4-panel here. Here's your 4-panel hail outlook. There is a marginal for hail in southwestern Michigan. And, as we move off to the east, I think you may end up getting that marginal moving off to the east for hail in Michigan as well. Probably not going to be your gorilla size hail or your gorilla hail, but gorilla hail. But what's going on, BC? But yeah, there's potential up there. I'm concerned about this day. Very concerned. Don't get me wrong. I'm very concerned about this. This day is what has me really worried, though. There's a secondary surface low that wants to absolutely punch through the deep south, up through the Ohio Valley. Appreciate that, BC. Kentucky is going to opt out of this one this time. Thanks. If only you could. If only you could. Western Kentucky is the most concerning for me right now. I would say Louisville to the west is looking concerning for me. Jambi, what's going on? How much snow gonna fall around Seattle, Washington area? Yeah, you guys have a lot of snow falling over there in the west right now. Should I take a look at our Cuchero real quick? Yeah. All right, let me see here. Let's get into winter weather real quick. 2 seconds. Look at that snow piling up out west. This is the other thing that's going to be coming through here soon. We'll have to see how this changes, but this bad boy right here could bring a lot of snow for a lot of people through Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and potentially Minnesota, the Twin Cities next week. So lots of snow is going to be falling out west. Most of this is going to be, if not all of it, elevation snow, not surface snow. So maybe a little bit out here in the central to northern plains. But, it's getting a little warmer a little later in the season. Jen and Angel, I appreciate you guys. But right now, we are watching. Ooh, let's look at our NAM 3K, guys. About to nerd out here. Careful, guys. Here's our NAM 3K. Oh. This is what I've been... Why haven't I looked at this? Yeah, our NAM 3K doesn't have this big blob of moisture. Our NAM 3K isn't messing around with the severe weather event, guys. Not at all. Not at all. 1 second. Let me just take a look at this, guys. Let me see here. Do I have any mods in chat? If any mods are in chat, pin something, just so I know. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh no, BC's in here. I can ask a couple people to get in here. Give me a second. Hold up. Where the heck? I'm gonna get a couple mods in here. All right. Here we go. What time for St. Louis? Friday night into early Saturday. I'm talking Friday, late afternoon. You want to start paying attention in St. Louis. The worst of it looks like it's going to be late Friday. I'm talking about like 8 p.m. after and then into like 1, 2 a.m. on Saturday. So you can see right here. Let's look at the timing of our NAM into St. Louis. Let's look at our params here. Look at that, 3.3. Look at this. This is these are some steep tornado params. This is EF2 plus possible through the St. Louis region, all of eastern Missouri, really, especially as you get into central and southern eastern Missouri. So timing on this on the NAM. So this right now is showing around. Because I have to do the math for Central. Around 8 p.m. Could be earlier, give or take a few hours. These things slow down or speed up. Around 8 p.m. on Friday, and then potentially moving out around 1 a.m. on Saturday. So I would say evening time on Friday. Right now, it's looking like for St. Louis. Really, the biggest tornado threat is going to be eastern Louisiana, especially southeastern Louisiana, which they kind of have highlighted. I was talking about this a few days ago. Boy, did I call this. I said, this moderate that they had was like this. And I was like, they're leaving out a whole section down here where we have a lot of instability. And they added it. We called that one right, chat. They added it. I still think this should be stretched a little farther back, but maybe they don't want to scare people in New Orleans. I don't know. I mean, they do have New Orleans in a moderate threat, and they're not canceling their festivities on Saturday, I heard, which is so stupid, but whatever. Have you guys heard that? That they're not canceling? Like, there's going to be a morning and an afternoon threat down there in New Orleans, and they're not, like, canceling their events. The yellow's slight risk, so still a chance for strong tornadoes. But the more you get into moderate, this is a categorical risk. So this includes the threat for wind, hail, and all that type of stuff as well. Could you show Linden, Tennessee for Saturday storms? Yeah, where's Linden, Tennessee? Yeah, it's dumb, right? I think it's high key dumb. Linden, Tennessee, where's that? Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm looking at unless you're on my YouTube. Okay, central western Tennessee. Oh, you might get some steep tornado params there. I wonder if I can pull that up. That's a small town. I'm not going to be able to pull that. Let me pull up like Jackson, because you'll have params similar to Jackson, Tennessee. I know it's not like right next to you, but that's the closest I'm probably going to get. Let me go to Tennessee real quick. Tennessee. Maybe it does have Linden on here. No, it doesn't. It's too small. It doesn't have Jackson either. Alex, Gen B, I appreciate you with the bunny gun. Alex with the Galaxy. Thank you guys. Shout out chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jen and Alex. Thank you for any of the follows or subs, guys. I'm trying to get a good sounding out of. You know what we can do? We'll just try it on Pivotal Weather. Let's see if we can get a good sounding out of Central Western Tennessee. Oh yeah. Yeah. Linden, Tennessee. This is near where you are, where I clicked. So these parameters are going to be similar. 15.1 supercell composite is high. Significant tor param at a 3.5 is high. EF2 plus long track tornadoes easily with that type. And then look at our hodograph. When you see a curved hodograph like this, that is showing us some strong wind shear and wind velocity if it's going out like that. So a little bit of inhibition. I expect this to break. I expect as the day warms up, this is going to break, and you'll probably have an explosion of CAPE. But even without that, you still have surface CAPE at around 1,000 joules per milligram. So the timing of this, with all of that being said, Saturday or at around 2 a.m., give or take a few hours, you will have a significant chance for very bad weather, including strong tornadoes. So hopefully, just because you have a chance doesn't mean they're going to happen. You'll have the ingredients in the atmosphere, likely. But a lot of times when people have the ingredients, the tornadoes don't occur because you need a lot of things to go right. So like I said, I don't want anyone to get worried, but we're taking a look. This is a severe event. So just trying to keep you guys updated. We've got moderate categorical outlooks. There's 5 outlooks. Okay. You've got marginal, which is 1. You've got slight, which is 2. You've got enhanced, which is 3. You've got moderate, which is 4. And then you've got high. Highs are rare. You almost never see high. Highs are maybe sometimes a few times a year. Sometimes you don't even get a high during a year. But moderate is a 4 out of 5 risk. So almost as high as you can get. Highs are very rare. We've got 2 back-to-back days. So we've also got hatch tornado risk. Hatch means EF2 plus long track tornadoes are possible. Once you see these dashed lines, we call it hatched. We'll see that tomorrow once we get into this 48 hours. So again, don't want anyone to think I'm not trying to. No one should be worried. There's tornado outbreaks that take no lives and damage no property because there's a lot of these states have so much farmland, and a lot of times people don't realize the size of these states, and a lot of these tornadoes don't even get near homes. But I would say Saturday super early in the morning, Linden, Tennessee, like I was talking about, Jackson, Nashville, 100% needs to be have a way to get weather alerts and have a way to get especially those tornado warnings. There's a lot of apps that will wake you up. The Weather Channel, I'm pretty sure, app, and AccuWeather has a good weather alert on it that if there's a tornado warning in your area, it'll wake you up like an alarm. Kirk, I appreciate it. Alex, I appreciate it. BC, what is going on? I appreciate you, BC, as always. Thank you, guys. North Alabama, yeah. So you could get this first wave pushing in. This would be around 5 to 7 a.m. on Saturday. And then you could get a more significant wave of severe weather moving in. I mean, this is going to be an all-day thing, it feels like, for northern Alabama, because you've got this first squall line moving in very early in the morning. Very early in the morning. We're talking like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Second wave starts to move in here. We're talking around 12 in the afternoon, and then potentially a third squall line here in the evening time, because you have the tail end of this low pressure up here, of this cyclone up here, right? You have the tail end whipping through with the squall line, and then you have another surface low that's going to form and follow it. It's going to be like a train of severe weather. So that moves out, and then here comes your second one. So that's why I'm saying a lot of the areas here are going to be hit repeatedly with severe weather back to back to back. Back to back, as Drake said, guys. You know what I'm saying? So, 1 second, guys. One second. Does my audio sound okay? I uploaded a video today and the audio was clipping the entire video. I actually made it twice. Indiana, yeah, I'll talk about that. We'll talk about Indiana. Okay, we'll talk about Indiana. I recorded a video earlier today. It took me about an hour because I was going through all this different stuff, and then I listened to it and my audio was clipping. So I restarted my computer, recorded it again, and then it was clipping again. So I just uploaded it with bad audio quality, and it killed me to do that. But I figured out it's because in my settings on my computer, my input was maxed out to 100. So even though I wasn't clipping in my software, I was clipping on my computer, and I'm so frustrated because it's a good video and it's clipping the whole time. Anyways, let's take a look at Indiana. Yali, Samantha, I appreciate it, guys. Ooh, that was cool. Whoa. It's me with the mystery firework. That was awesome. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Sam, I appreciate you. Seriously. Indiana, let's look at our timeline. Here's our first kind of squall line beginning to make its way into western Indiana. Yeah, we'll do Illinois next. This is... Woo! Okay, here we go again. 2.6 to 4.0 sig torparams from our inhibition, fixed up to our inhibition. So plenty of cape. Here's our... Whoa. 450 plus storm relative helicity and 50 knot shear at the surface. This, to me, God, if there was more surface cape here, this would be a this would be the strongest tornado parameter I've seen all day. Luckily, the cape, most of the worst cape is expected to stay to the south because that is some strong. Anyways, geez, I didn't expect to see that in Indiana. Okay, luckily, most of the cape is to the south, so you have crazy parameters there, but your buoyancy, your updrafts aren't going to be cranking as much as they are out here. So that being said, you could get strong tornadoes here with those parameters. You definitely could. This is timing wise, midnight, Friday going into Saturday, into 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. type of timing on Saturday. And then you could get some bad weather. This probably is not going to be severe for you. You could get some hail and strong thunderstorms Saturday evening as well. But this likely will not be tornadic. This is you're not going to have the instability here. The instability is going to be out ahead of this out here. So this is just going to be more rain and thunderstorms. That first thing I was talking about though, midnight Friday into around 3-4 a.m. on Saturday. Again, give or take a few hours. That's looking significant. Moving into Illinois, the timing for this is our latest NAM 3-kilometer model. Making its way into western Illinois, around Friday evening. So potentially 8 or 9 p.m., give or take a few hours. And it's going to be making its way and not fully out until probably around 2 a.m. on Saturday. So late Saturday, Friday evening into the very early hours of Saturday. That's your timing. I think you could see the worst of it in the Chicago suburbs. The worst of it moving into the Chicago suburbs, if you were to take this at its word, the timing of this at around 11 p.m., give or take an hour on Friday. So St. Louis a little bit before that. Let me see. Yeah, I'm looking at the lower 48 right now. I can check that a little bit later on. Especially out that distance, these models aren't going to be correct out that time frame, end of March. Sarah Dillon, I appreciate the sub. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah Dean. I said Dylan. Sarah, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Dean. I appreciate you, Sarah. I can pronounce the first part of it. Can you please do Iowa and will there be tornadoes? I will do I'll do a short sub only stream at the end of this in a little bit here, just so I can answer any sub questions, guys. Armstrong with the 36 GGs. I appreciate you. Thoughts on Central Alabama? Well, here you go. Right around 7 a.m., give or take a few hours on Saturday. It could be closer to 5, could be closer to 9 a.m. You have to do that because as these storms get closer, sometimes these thunderstorms fire up a little bit earlier than expected. Sometimes they're moving at a little bit quicker of a clip. So you never want to say, oh, this is happening at 5 a.m. Sometimes they happen a little bit before, a little bit after. You got to give yourself some room. Weather forecasting is difficult. Everything is difficult. Let me refresh this and see if I can pull this up. I'm having trouble getting some of this to show. So, okay, nothing too bad there. Let's push up a little bit. This is probably the concern here towards Central Alabama. Alexis, I appreciate the sub. Thank you, Alexis. Bryn, I appreciate the sub. Thank you, guys. Bryn and Alexis, I appreciate you guys. Armstrong, thank you. Thank you, Armstrong. Here we go. Some pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about almost a 2.0. Where was I? Almost a 2.0 SIGTOR param with a really good-looking photograph as well. So that was a different area. So I would say this is probably going to be the more significant timing. Let me look here actually as well. Ooh, that was cool. Caleb, I appreciate you. Armstrong, thank you. Caleb with the Into the Light. I appreciate you. This is insane. 22. Okay. So I got to look at our time frame here. What are we at? We are at Saturday. Okay, so this is Saturday. This is Saturday night at around 10 p.m. We have a supercell. Oh my gosh. Supercell composite at 26. Storm significant tornado param at 4.5. Crazy surface cape, insane SRH and shear. This, just to confirm, okay, Saturday night at around 10 p.m., give or take a few hours, that was a sounding from Central Alabama. So I think it's going to be more towards the north, but Saturday night, Saturday evening, that is one of the most significant This is like one of the most significant tornado parameters. 5.0. This is one of the most significant tornado parameters I've seen all night since we've been on the live stream. This is what makes me think that they should potentially think about putting a high here, a high risk. High risks are very, very rare. They're the 5 out of 5. They're the highest risk that they can put on an area, but that's super concerning. Super concerning. I gotta take a triple check at these soundings. They're crazy. Right down here is where I'm really looking, guys. I mean, you can look. There's a lot of different areas I'm looking. Surface cape, SRH 512, surface shear 46. Weird looking photograph here, but it's still good. 5.5 SDP. This is crazy looking tornado param for Saturday night. Oh my gosh. Okay. So have a way to get weather alerts. You'll be fine. Have a way to get weather alerts. You can have all the ingredients, and it doesn't mean you're going to get a major tornado, but it does mean you need to be paying attention. That is for sure. What's your thoughts on tornadoes for Northern Illinois? Northern Illinois, and I'm talking like up here, really Chicago metropolitan and out west. You probably only get, if you have C1, EF0, EF1 weak. Could you get an EF2 plus? Yes. I'd say it's a 5% chance or less. Once you get down close into central, I'd say once you get into this region, things start to really, you got to take this area very, very, very seriously. I'd keep a watch up here though, because we do have some models that want to stretch this moderate up to the north. And that would be Friday night. That'd be Friday evening. That would be kicking off. Yeah, we've been over Nashville. We've been over Middle Tennessee a few times. This is your first kind of event here. Let's see if we can get a sounding out of here that looks. Yeah, so this is a SIG tour event right here. So this would be around Saturday. This is Saturday morning. It could be anywhere between 4 to 9 a.m. Saturday morning, where you've got some potential discrete cells moving over the region. And then here comes your second concern right behind it. Now, this is going to be rain-cooled air, so I don't know if this is going to be as significant. But, yeah, even though you have all this scary-looking stuff, that's rain-cooled air. I want to see what the squall line, though, has. Yeah, so I'd be more concerned about that first event. And potentially as these things begin to fire up here, let's see. It's going to be too cold. So this is probably your timing. Like I said, early hours of Saturday. Yep. Right now, that's looking like maybe it could kick off as early as 3 a.m., 2 to 3 a.m., but maybe not as late, not until 4 or 5 a.m., Middle Tennessee, up towards Nashville. But we do have SIG tour params through there, meaning EF2 plus long track tornadoes are possible. So I'm pretty concerned about St. Louis. Yeah, I've talked about St. Louis a few times. I brought up St. Louis a few times because some of the parameters just look crazy for it. Here you go. I mean, doesn't get much, you've got surface cape over 1,500 joules per kilogram. You've got strong supercell composite, 4.0 SIG Tor param. That you can easily get EF3, EF4 tornadoes, and not, I wouldn't say easily. EF3 plus tornadoes are hard to get, but you easily have the ingredients for it. So 5.5 over here, effective layer, SIG Tor param, 5.5 is very high. Very high. So yeah, you need to be paying attention Friday evening in St. Louis. So this is actually at around in St. Louis. Let me think. This is at around really 7 p.m., 8 p.m. ish, give or take a few hours just to be safe. But yeah. And then these parameters get a little bit crazier looking, I think, as you move forward. Yeah, I mean, South Carolina, as this thing moves out towards the coast, we're going to lose the chance for these very intense tornadoes. let's take a sounding out of South Carolina for these like very, very strong ones. But I mean, right here we have a 0.5 sig tor, which means you could get EF0, EF1, maybe a weak EF2 tornado, but probably not. So yeah, you should. If you still have the chance for tornadoes out here, you're still going to probably have some strong winds and hail associated with some of this, with this squall line. QLCS tornadoes are possible, so you want to have a way to get watches and warnings out here. Most likely there'll be a few tornadoes that touch down out here near the coast. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I don't think we're going to have the outbreak like we're going to have out here, but most likely you'll get tornadoes on the ground out towards the eastern seaboard and, the Carolinas, Georgia. Panhandle of Florida needs to watch out too. Panhandle of Florida has some decent instability for this event on late Saturday afternoon and late Saturday. But, there's a reason the Storm Prediction Center has this slight all the way up and down the coast. So this is giving us a chance for strong winds, hail, and tornadoes. That's from the Storm Prediction Center. We could get an enhanced tomorrow. We very well could. All right, give me half a second, chat, and I'm coming right back. Yeah, if you're in any risk zone, all weather's possible. Correct. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Sam, what's going on? Sorry, I just had to read something in chat real quick. I'll look at Illinois again in a second. Kansas City should be pretty safe. Storms are going to start firing up just to the east of Kansas City, I think. The new 00Z NAM 3K shows STP values are at around 10 for most of all of Alabama and at 11 p.m. Saturday night as per. Well, yeah, there's 2 events that take place in Alabama, though. You've got this right here, which could stretch down into Alabama. That would be early Saturday. But the more significant one looks like it may be this, which, again, is late into Saturday. So, but, we could be underdoing this first event early Saturday. So we'll have to see. This right here looks like the more intense event. As I said earlier, when you start looking at your tornado parameters here, very strong. I mean, look at that 5.0 STP. So again, this is Saturday evening, pretty late in the evening, starting at around 8 to 9 p.m. Things could really go downhill there, central to northern Alabama. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Don, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you, Mick. Thank you. Wait, did someone just say Connor has been on my mind? Santi, of course it was you. What's happening over the Hoosier State right now? I'm in Florida. Well, if you're in Florida, what do you care? I'm just kidding. No, right now it's quiet across most of the country. We've got some snow falling. In portions of Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Idaho. We have some snow falling out west. It's some rainfall in Arizona and New Mexico, which is nice. A little bit of some spicy weather right now moving through eastern Alabama, just east of Birmingham. A little bit of spicy weather, but sorry, I'm looking at my radar. You guys can't see. There's just not much to talk about, so don't worry. You're not missing out on much on the live radar. There will be a lot to talk about starting tomorrow. Believe me. Tomorrow through Saturday, buckle up. Nate Gray, I appreciate it. Nate Gray with the sub. I appreciate you, Nate. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go into a sub only chat here in a little bit so I can answer all you guys' questions. Red Bull time. I know. VC, I've been trying to drink less energy drinks, and I didn't really drink any today, and I think I need to. I think it's Skyuma. Yeah, everyone, I love it. I love the Skyumas. Listen, no, I can't. My wife went to Minnesota. I went to Florida State. She made me a Gopher fan. We've been to a lot of Gopher games and been up there a lot. So she's converting me into a Gopher. Let's see here. Mallory, I appreciate you. Yeah, I've seen some more questions about. Illinois again. This stuff is going to start moving in potentially Friday evening, 8 p.m. ish, give or take a few hours. We have pretty strong SIG-Tor params, so nothing really to mess with here. You got to pay attention. You got to have weather alerts 2.0 STP. Plus, you could get strong EF2 plus tornadoes through central and southern Illinois. I think up north it's going to be a little weaker. You could get some strong winds and hail. I think your stronger tornadoes are going to be central to southern Illinois, but you should pay attention up north because this thing could shift a little bit north and pull that moderate up. So you got to pay attention to that as well. Yeah, yep. Because exactly with Saturday, once we get into tomorrow, we'll get a lot of data. We'll get a lot of data from the SBC. We don't even have, all we have is our categorical for Saturday right now. But tomorrow we'll get the 4-panel like we have here for the Friday into early Saturday, which is good. So we can see where they're worried about wind, hail, all that type of stuff. You can see right here. Look at our wind outlook, guys. Look at our wind outlook. We've got a 45% hatch risk for wind through a big portion of Illinois, southeastern Iowa, eastern Missouri. St. Louis is smack in the middle of this 45% hatch risk for wind. So, northeastern Arkansas, northwestern Tennessee, and western Kentucky. St. Louis is smack in the middle of this thing. You guys could easily see hurricane force gusts or plus locally in some areas around St. Louis. Hail. Guess who's smack dab in the middle of this 30% hatch risk for hail? St. Louis. Gorilla hail could be possible. Big hail. 2-inch plus hail. It's not funny, but it's funny that they call it gorilla hail. And then tornado, again, slight hatch risk. EF2, anyone in this zone, EF2 plus. I think this zone should be stretched out here. I don't know why it's not. We're seeing the potential for strong potential tornadoes out here to the east of this, through Kentucky, southern Indiana, southwestern Ohio. In my opinion, I think that'll be changed potentially tomorrow. But a lot of those areas are still out there in categorical, enhanced, and slight. BC, I appreciate you. Flying from Dallas to South Florida on Saturday morning. You should be fine. They'll fly around it. They'll fly around it. Well, once they get up into the stratosphere, they can fly right over storms. But if they're not getting up to that altitude, they'll just fly around it like that. You don't want bad weather where you're taking off or where you're landing. But typically, if it's in the middle, they'll fly over it because planes fly up into the stratosphere. So I think it'll be okay. Because I think the weather, South Florida shouldn't be too bad. Oh. Sorry, guys. Yes. Maddie said, please have weather alerts turned on if you are in any of the risk zones. Correct. Let's see. Let me get back down here in chat. Is the future look in Columbus, Georgia look better or worse than when we last talked Tuesday? Columbus? Wait, did I say Ohio? Wait, Columbus, Ohio? Oh, Columbus, Georgia. That's right. 1 second. Columbus. What the heck? Why? Oh, there we go. There we go. Columbus, Georgia is a little bit... Columbus, Georgia to me looks pretty safe. You're a little bit down here to the south. You're in an enhanced. Let's take a look, actually. You're pretty close to some sketchy stuff. We'll take a look at your soundings really quick. So you could have something decent there Saturday evening, late Saturday evening, even into Sunday morning potentially. Okay, let's take a look at it. Danny just became a 2-month subscriber. Shout out, Danny. All right, let's get into this. So, yeah, a lot of this stuff wants to stay to your north. The most concerning timing right now looks to be Sunday morning. But I don't even know why we have a sig torque ram of 0.5. Not a lot of cape, not a lot of shear, almost no rotation. I don't even think that looks... I would still pay attention Saturday evening into Sunday morning, although the soundings aren't looking too dangerous for Columbus, Georgia. Let's see. Yeah, we've been talking about St. Louis a lot, Stephanie. St. Louis is in smack dab in the middle of severe wind threats. Very strong, very dangerous looking tornado parameters. Friday evening, everyone in St. Louis needs to have a way to get weather alerts, watches, and warnings. It's a dangerous look Friday evening, just to put it, not to fearmonger, just it's, everyone, you're going to be fine, but people need to understand if there's going to probably be tornadoes in the region. Central Missouri, central Illinois. St. Louis is right, kind of, like I said, in the center. This is right in the center of where we think the worst severe weather could be, tornado-wise, wind-wise, and hail-wise, right in that region there on Friday evening. So, I mean, even if we just took a look at like our SIG Tour param on here, which is going to show us where the worst stuff could be. And I think this is too far south. So that's our SIG Tour param. This, to me, should be a little bit farther north. This is probably going to stretch a little bit farther north like this. This area is concerning right in here. So there's St. Louis right here, right? Right in there. So we need to pay attention. And then this thing firing up in Mississippi, like, oh my gosh. Let me find something in here. 1 second, guys. 5.6. Holy crap. 1 second. I gotta take a picture of this and send it to Matt. 1 second, guys. Come on, phone. There we go. 1 second, guys. I have to send this to Matt. This is crazy looking. Hold up, chat. Hold up, chat. One second, chat. Well, I'm just going to send it in my chat. Okay. Sorry, guys. Explain. Someone said explain. What we're seeing is absolute juiced up cape here. This is a ton of lift to pull. These are very strong updrafts. So what you have here, this is your lapse rate. This dashed white line is your lapse rate. And your lapse rate is basically, it takes a parcel of air at the surface during this timing of the forecast sounding. And this is the temperature of the parcel of air. The red line here is the temperature of the atmosphere around it. So your parcel of air is much warmer than the atmosphere around it, meaning it's going to rise. And the farther away your parcel of air, the farther difference the warmer your parcel of air is compared to the atmosphere around it, the more CAPE you have. You have a ton of CAPE here. Not only do you have a ton of CAPE, you can see this rotation. So the farther out this line goes in our hodograph up here, the higher velocity the winds are. So you have a twisting high velocity hodograph. That's a sign for tornadoes. And then down here you can see there's parameters that show us, again, our SRH, storm relative helicity. This is a ton of rotation at the surface and 46 knot shear at the surface. This is just like this is a picture perfect. These are ingredients for a major tornado. EF4 ish plus. Like this is just a crazy looking 9.5 significant tornado parameter. This assesses all the different things we look at on here and gives it a rating. It's a 9.5. It's dangerous once it gets to a 1.0, just so people understand. A 1.0 plus SIGTOR param can produce strong tornadoes. This is a 9.5, so that's what we're looking at there. And that's around Jackson, Mississippi. That's in central to southern Mississippi. And then that starts to move up off to the north and east through Alabama. Gets a little less worse in Alabama, but still pretty bad. Yeah, pretty big tornadoes that could happen. What the weather's going to be like in Virginia? Yeah, Virginia doesn't look too crazy. So, I mean, let's go into our HRRR00Z. I'm going to do sub-only chat here in about 5 minutes. So, let's go back into our... Laddie, what's going on? Caleb, I appreciate you. Danny with the sub, I appreciate you. Black Butterfly, BC, Confused Blonde. Here we go. You start getting some... So here, actually, let me pull into the Euro so we can see this a little bit farther out. Ooh, what the heck do you have me in Euro? So here we go. You've got your squall. So a lot of the worst tornado parameters start to disappear as this thing moves off to the east, but you're still going to have some significant squall lines, frontal boundaries moving through where you could get some of those QLCS tornadoes I always talk about. They're typically weaker, EF0 to EF1. You can't get an EF2 in there, though, so you really have to take it seriously. But the worst of the weather is going to start moving into Virginia at around 6 a.m., likely on Sunday with the timing we have right now. This could change. And then it's going to kind of move out late in the afternoon. It should be moving off the coast. I mean, it could really be from a 6 a.m. to like a 9 p.m. event. It could be an all-day event on Sunday once it starts moving into Virginia and then off the coast of Virginia. Again, some decent wind, hail is possible with these squall lines and some weak tornadoes. We're not going to see the super dangerous threat like we see farther out to the west, but it's nothing to take lightly because we've gotten very strong tornadoes before from QLCS setups like this. So that's why there's a slight risk right there from the SBC and why it could even go enhanced tomorrow, meaning the threat level could increase. So we'll have to see that. Yeah. Confused Blonde. I love that name. Same type of thing. Same type of thing as Virginia. You're not going to have this super scary tornado. I don't want to call it super scary. It's scary everyone out here, but you're not going to have that very high threat for very powerful tornadoes, although it's not like they're not possible. They're just much less likely. What is likely is strong winds and thunderstorms with the potential for some hail and maybe EF0, EF1 weak tornadoes passing through this area on Sunday. But the most significant weather right now looks to hold out west. So so that's what's going on with that. I need more water. Why am I so you know what? I got a lemonade in here. I'm drinking. Ow, my hand. Everything's wrong with me. I'm getting old. Yeah. There's actually a... Oh my god, what is going on with me? I need some physical therapy, guys. I was parched. All I had was lemonade next to me, guys. No water. So I'm with lemonade. There's actually, I think, 4 tornado alleys. You have Tornado Alley, which is here. Okay, wow, that was bad drawing. Let me try that again. You've got your classic Tornado Alley, which is here. You've got Dixie Alley, which is... This isn't going to be perfect, guys, so just give me a break. Which is here. You've got Hoosier Alley. And then you've got this... I forget what this one's called. Someone remind me in chat. There's like a little alley through here, which is basically Raleigh-Durham, where there's like... For some reason, there's just a lot of random weak tornadoes at more than any of the areas around this. I forget what it's called. It's because of how the wind blows off the mountains to your west. Does anyone remember what that's called? Is it? I think it's called Is it called Carolina Alley? It might actually be called Carolina Alley. Yeah, Carolina Alley. So these are this is like an A+ dangerous. This is like an A. This is like a B, and this is like a C. Although this is looking more like an A+. More tornadoes have been focusing on Dixie Alley in recent years, and they're expected to this year. West Tennessee, yes, West Tennessee really needs to pay attention. West Tennessee is not to be trifled with Saturday morning. We were talking about that earlier. Here's where things start to get dicey in West Tennessee. Midnight Friday, going into like Saturday around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. There you go, 2.6 sigtors. You've got everything you need here. Moving into the extreme early hours of Saturday morning, extreme late hours of Friday night. Kylie, I appreciate that. As an overall perspective of this storm coming, what's the biggest tornado you think we could see anywhere? The sky's the... Listen, I don't want to freak anyone out, but the sky's the limit with this, no pun intended, with this tornado outbreak. This is... We have the type of parameters that could produce an EF5 tornado, which is the strongest tornado you can get. Will we, just because you have the ingredients doesn't mean you're going to get it. They need to intersect at the right time. But really with these type of parameters, an EF5 is possible. Hopefully we don't see that. I expect to see what we call a SIGTOR, significant tornado, EF2+, or potentially multiple. But that's why we're especially worried about Saturday. I think Friday could end up being pretty bad too, just based on what I'm seeing around central Missouri with some of these soundings. But I still think Saturday in Mississippi is going to be super dangerous. Out towards Alabama, northwestern Georgia, southeastern Louisiana too, but I'm really worried about Mississippi. I don't know. You can't tell really. Like someone said, should Mississippi people leave town? That's a big ask. 99.9999% of people aren't going to see a tornado or be affected at all, even with the tornado outbreak. So you don't want to scare everyone into leaving. If everyone left every time there was a tornado, no one would live in Tornado Alley or Dixie Alley. So it's just, if you're prepared, you'll be safe. If you have a way to get warnings, you'll be safe. You'll have time to react. Typically, nowadays, you can have almost 30 minutes, a good tornado warning, where you can get out of the tornado's way. Let's see. If it's a really dangerous situation. All right, guys, I'm going to get off, and I'm going to do like a 15-ish, maybe a little bit longer than that, sub-only stream on TikTok. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate any of the subs, any of the follows, anyone who gifted. Seriously, guys, you guys just being here engaging with me. I will post another video tomorrow. I will be live streaming tomorrow, and I'll probably try to live stream a decent amount on Saturday during the day because there's going to be a dangerous setup. And I know Matt will be live streaming. We'll be talking, hopefully just trying to ease people's work concerns and calling out tornado warnings as early as we can. A lot of times we can call them out before the NWS puts them down. If you know what you're looking at, you can. There's a lag for when they put it up for when people see it. So, but I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get off here for just a second, and then I'm going to get back onto my TikTok live in sub-only mode. Seriously, appreciate all of you guys. And if you're not going to be back in the sub-only, I will see you tomorrow.